Hey everyone, this is Demari. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to be doing the September 2020 monthly tarot reading for the sign of Aries. Please keep in mind this is a general reading, so it may not apply to your circumstances. However, you can take a look at this month's reading in regards to your Sun, Moon, Rising and Venus signs. So do take a look at your natal chart, see the corresponding zodiac signs and see which video's title resonates for you most. With regards to the spread, I'll be using a Celtic cross style. We'll be using the Rider-Waite deck to get the key messages, and then we'll clarify with the intuitive. Okay, I'm just going to remove this because we don't actually need this right now. They will come handy in the extended. As from this particular month moving forwards, there will be an extended video available for those of you who feel that these messages are relevant and would like further insight into key aspects of the reading. So if you would like to check that out, you can find the information in the description box below. All right. So Aries, let's get into it and see what's coming up for you in the month of September. There's no doubt it's going to be interesting. It's been very, very interesting so far for all of the signs. Lots of significant changes, so we'll see what's coming up for you guys now. Ooh. Just want to say quickly a big thank you to everyone who's been liking, commenting and subscribing. It means so much to have your support and continued support. If you would like to check out more of these readings, please do so. I recommend subscribing if you haven't already and hitting the notifications bell so you're informed of when your next reading goes live. Okay, woo. Card just flipped out. Okay. So I'm just going to get this spread out and then we'll go into these messages one by one before I go into the clarification. I was having some issues with my throat lately, so I'm just hoping my voice won't start to cut out or sound strange again. Otherwise I'll have to take a cough suite, so I hope you don't mind too much. Okay, so let's take a look. So in regards to your present circumstances, you have the Empress in reverse. So this is Taurus energy, okay? So you could be dealing with a Taurus, but I feel like for the most part, Aries, this is talking about you. This is you kind of feeling like, you know, maybe you've had certain things come into your awareness where you realize you're not feeling so fulfilled, right? There might be key aspects of your life that you don't feel like are quite coming together in the way you imagined. You know, that you planted your seeds, but you're not seeing them germinate yet. Or maybe you're worried that they never will, that no matter what intentions you set and the work you put into it, they just don't seem to be, you know, bearing fruit. They don't seem to be flourishing. So there may be a little bit of disappointment around that, feeling a little bit stuck and stagnant because you didn't necessarily manifest certain wishes that you had, right? Or you're not seeing it made manifest as of yet. Now, in regards to the position of the challenge, so it's crossing the situation, you have the Six of Swords. So air energy, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So you're being asked to leave something behind in order to pursue a sense of well-being, mental clarity, peace of mind, right? A resolution, calmness, serenity, you know, to come out of a situation that's been painful or difficult and into clearer waters, calmer waters, right? Where things are more transparent, where they're calm, it's more serene, and you can regroup. So you may have been leaving a difficult situation behind because, like I said, you didn't bear the fruits of your labor, right? You put a lot of work into something and it didn't come together in the way you envisioned. So you're having to regroup, you know, and explore new pastures elsewhere possibly. So yeah, we'll see more of that. We'll look into that more when we clarify to see what exactly this is most likely pertaining to. Now, with the recent past, you have the Five of Pentacles in reverse, Earth energy, Aries. Aries. Why do I keep going to say Aries? That's you. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, right? Yeah, I feel like it's not even a case of you're having to question whether or not you were going to lose something as such. It's more of a case of something not coming together in the first place, right? That's what I'm feeling. Like you can't lose what you never had. That's what's coming in strongly for me. So perhaps you were seeking a new relationship, a new connection, a new business project, a new creative endeavor. You know, maybe even, for example, some of you might have been considering going back to uni and you were seeking some options and you applied for, you know, for a position, for a, you know, a place on a course or whatever, and you weren't accepted. You know, you didn't get the acceptance letter for that course, but maybe, you know, you didn't, like in another uni that you didn't really want to go to, say something like that. You know, whatever it is, I feel like you were ready to take the step towards something, but either the other person or whatever was needed to enable to do that, in order, oh my God, can I speak? Whatever was needed to help you do that didn't come together, right? So either someone, you know, wasn't willing to assist, or you didn't get the other person's interest or desire to take that step forward alongside you, right? Like maybe that person just flat out told you that this wasn't going anywhere or something like that. But I feel like, yeah, it was the case of, you know, you didn't leave something behind because there was nothing to leave behind, right? It's that kind of energy. I made a real mess of trying to explain that, but yeah, that's what I'm getting for that. It's just like something didn't come to pass altogether. Like I said, you were planting seeds, you know, positive intentions, but it didn't bear any fruit. You know, the plant was barren, essentially. That's what I'm getting from this. So you're having to regroup and leave it behind, or leave your hopes behind when it comes to a specific situation or aspect of your life. Like I said, it could be work, could be a relationship that didn't come to pass. It could be a project, it could be a creative vision, it could be just about anything, really. Okay. So in regards to near future, you have the Nine of Swords. So more energy. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is like you were trying to detach yourself from a situation. You may be physically moving yourself out of one environment to another, but I feel like you're more than anything, you're trying to mentally, especially, detach from a situation because it gets you very caught up in your head, right? You find it hard to be in a state of inner peace when you think about this person or this missed opportunity or this dream that didn't come to pass, right? It's very painful for you. It's very difficult because it was something that you truly wanted. It was something that you felt ready for, right? And that would be brought into your life one way or another. That the doors would open for you. So when they didn't, yeah, it takes time to process that, especially when it involves something that we wanted that much, right? So I understand that. But the thing is, I feel like the problem here is that you take these steps to try and get mental clarity, to try and, you know, regroup from the situation, but you end up just as much in your head, if not more so. Because regardless of what changes you're making in your environment or whatever, you're not processing certain aspects of this situation mentally. So you're just carrying, you see how they got the swords as well. I feel like you're just carrying a lot of that burden, a lot of the mental anguish from the situation, and disappointment, sadness, regret, remorse, guilt, whatever it is, from this situation into your new environment. You see what I mean? So maybe this is, I'm just getting something here. So this may have been the issue, that it's not even that you're just trying to walk away from something and you're trying to just leave something behind so you can go to calmer waters. I feel like some of you may have brought some of these swords to a current situation. So something from your past that you were trying to heal and regroup from, you brought a lot of that mental anguish with you. So that when you was trying to manifest something new, you ended up manifesting more of the same. That's why it didn't bear fruit. So say, for example, you applied for unis before and you didn't get in, right? They were saying that, you know, your grade was just slightly off or whatever. So you try going to a completely new location, you try applying, and then you're thinking maybe you'll you know, it'll be enough and you'll get it, and you get the same sort of response, or the same sort of thing plays out, right? And then you're like, gosh, like, why does this keep happening? And you get very caught up in your head and you just feel kind of hopeless in the situation. It's something like that. It's not that necessarily the circumstances were exactly the same, but you brought the same energy, the same thoughts, you know, to the situation. So you ended up manifesting lack, right, instead of abundance. I hope that makes sense. So in regards to your feelings, you have the star here. So Aquarius energy, you could be dealing with Aquarius, or as I said, a Taurus. But I feel like Aries is a case of, you know what it is that you want, right? And I feel like the problem is, it's like you knew there was something you really wanted, and maybe you're questioning if you were wrong, right, to pursue it in the way that you did, knowing that you still had these burdens, this baggage from a previous situation, right? So you were just addressing that now, and you're really just thinking about what is it that you want to do moving forward. How can you best alchemize the situation? How can you best pull back into yourself and give yourself what you need in order to pursue new dreams, right? With regards to what's crowning you at this time, so what's within your power to affect and the leading energy of the reading, you have the Seven of Cups. So more water. Did I say more water? We didn't have water. It's because I'm seeing the cups there. Water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Yeah, you're feeling very confused right now. You're still very, I feel like, emotionally conflicted. You're just kind of in a haze right now. You can't see up from down. You're very unsure because, you know, you tried one route and it didn't work out. So you're like, I don't even know which path to take at this point, because I feel like ultimately it's going to lead me to the same outcome, right? And I think that's what you're worried about, that regardless of which path you take in order to try and get this fulfillment, this happiness, you know, this dream, then it's only going to lead to very similar outcomes, right? But that may not be the case. And even if it keeps, if it feels like history is repeating, which was a clear message from today's collective reading, you know, I pull one card each day and I post the message on Twitter and Instagram, so you might want to check that out. My social channels are on the banner on my channel. But you know, that was like the clear message there. And it's like, if you're feeling like history keeps repeating itself, then perhaps there's something that you keep doing as well. There's something that you keep repeating. Maybe there's something you need to shift and change, even if it's just simply a change of perception or mindset. That can make a big difference, right? So clarifying your advice, clarifying. In the position of your advice here, you have the Emperor in reverse. So this is your energy, Aries, okay? So yeah, you're being asked to really look at yourself at this time, because it's like, yeah, there's a reason why this keeps repeating, and it's because there's something you're doing in the dynamic, right? Or there's something that you're very reluctant to address head on. You're very stubborn about. And it's possible that, you know, you're not taking a closer look at what you need to do, the inner work you need to do, or the outer work you need to do. Maybe there's, you know, for example, if you don't get a place in a uni that you want to go to and you keep being rejected, maybe you need to do additional studies, coursework or whatever to get your points up, right? Things like that. So it's asking you to, rather than be stubborn about it and just kind of come from an ego place where like, you should just accept me. If you're not getting the response you want, then maybe you need to put in some extra work, or perhaps you need to take a different route, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's something of that nature. Like perhaps, you know, there's something that you're not bending on, that you're not flexible on, right? So that makes it impossible for you to get a different outcome. If you do something in the exact same way and you keep getting the same results, that tells you you need to change something, right? So maybe that's what you need to look at. So in regards to your external influences, so this can be people, places, situations, environments, right? Everything surrounding you. You have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So more earth energy. Could very well be dealing with the Taurus with the Empress there. But I feel like, you know, either way, yeah, I feel like you wanted to make an offer towards someone. For some of you, this is definitely about a connection. You wanted to make an offer to someone, but perhaps you realized that what you wanted to give, you couldn't give because it still actually belonged to someone else. That's kind of that's one message I'm getting for someone, is that what you wanted to give to someone new was still being held by a person of the past, right? And that you had to come to this kind of difficult realization that perhaps you were still in love with someone from your past, you know, or perhaps you still feel an energetic tie to them, you still have that entanglement, right? Or perhaps you feel like in some strange way, even though you're not together, it would be like a betrayal to that person, right? Because of what you shared in the past, because you feel like they still have a part of you in some way, right? So that's one message for some people. But for another, I feel like it's a case of you don't feel like you have much left to give in this situation, right? Because when you try to give to people in the past, you do not feel like it was evenly reciprocated, right? You feel like you had a lot to give, but it either isn't accepted or people take advantage of that, right? And I feel like you're kind of tired of that. You're getting sick and tired of feeling like you're being taken for granted, you're being taken advantage of, that you give so much to a situation and give little back. So it's going to be different. It's like a mixed message here. It's like for some of you it would be the first message, for some of you it would be the other. So just take whatever resonates, if any of that does, okay? Now, with regards to your fears, you have the Fool card in reverse. So this is your energy as well, Aries. So I feel like, you know, even though you guys, generally Aries, you are very outgoing, you're very, you're very direct, you're very passionate, you know, you're willing to give things a go, you're not afraid to start somewhere new, you know, start new projects, you're not afraid to start your life over as such. Not completely over, of course, but just like a new significant chapter or something. You know, you're eager to try new things, right? You like to just keep the momentum going. But I feel like in this case, right, you're afraid to do that. You're afraid to start from scratch because you've already felt like you've had to make so many changes to your environment, to whatever situation this is that's playing out. You've been changing a lot, you know, you've put a lot of time, energy and resources into getting where you are now. So I feel like you just don't even have the energy to start completely over from scratch, right? You just don't want to do that by any means. But I don't feel like if you did start again, you wouldn't be starting from scratch, right? It's impossible because you have the experience, you have the awareness that you now have. So it's never starting from scratch, even if it may feel like it, due to finances or location or whatever it is. And then in regards to your hopes, you have the Two of Pentacles. So yeah, you're wanting to just find a balance, right? You're trying to find equilibrium. You know that ultimately it doesn't matter how high or how low you feel at any one time, things will always be okay in the end, right? Then in the grand scheme of things, all balances out. So there's nothing to fear. It's just while you're navigating the choppy waters, it can be quite difficult to feel like, you know, you're grounded and you have things under control. Because I think you're seeing more and more that while there's certain things, yes, that we can control, there's so much that happens in this life that we can't, right? and you're just having to find the best way possible to ride those waves, right? Even when things do get turbulent, when things do get very rocky for you, you just have to find the best way possible to navigate those rough seas, pretty much. And then as a potential outcome for the month, you have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So yeah, it's a case of, this is to help you reflect on what work hasn't been done yet, I feel like. Because I feel like you still have healing to do here, clearly with that Nine of Swords. There's still some realizations you need to come to. There's still some truths that you need to admit to yourself. And there's some fears that you need to tackle head on as well. So there is a lot of inner work that needs to take place at this time for you, Aries. However, it's definitely not beyond you. This is something you can do for sure. It's just being willing to do that work and accepting that everyone has their shit, right? Everyone has baggage. Everyone has things that they have to heal from. And that it's up to us as individuals to do that work, right? Especially if we want to have a positive, balanced life, we have to do that. Yeah, because I see the Five of Pentacles again and the Knight of Cups. So you may have to come to the realization that you still have very strong feelings towards someone, and there's someone specific that you want to move towards, or there's something in particular that you want to do in life that means a great deal to you. And it may go against the wishes of family members, or, it might be so far removed from where you have your expertise in, right? But you still want it regardless. So you have to look at how you can best move towards that new career goal or endeavor, right? But it's some significant changes coming in at this time, especially because I just saw the Tower. So absolutely. So it's just a case of accepting that first of all, however it applies there, and then looking at what you can do about it, right? Because there's no point being in denial at this stage. It's only going to cause more of this energy, and you don't want that. You don't want to be in that state of confusion and, in overthinking and just having so much inner conflict because you're not wanting to admit even to your own soul how you truly feel about something or someone. Okay. Okay. Sorry, just interesting cards coming up for you. Alright. So let's take a closer look, Aries. So when it comes to your present circumstances, the Empress in reverse here, you have the Sun in reverse. So Leo energy. Could be dealing with Leo, especially because I do see fire energy here, but we'll get into that. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so yeah, the Sun in reverse. So this is it. It's like, what it is that you want. You know what shape and form your happiness takes at this point in time. But because you planted seeds with differing intentions compared to this, they didn't bear the fruit. Because it wasn't actually aligned to your true will. That's the difference, right? Perhaps you weren't aware of what your true will was at the time. But now you're coming to realize that. Now you're coming into the realization of what that is, right? And you'll slowly start to see why you didn't get the manifestations that you wanted, because it wasn't actually aligned for you and what you truly wanted. So that's then going to force you to look at how to reach what it is that you actually want, right? So clarifying the Six of Swords in your position of the challenge, you have the Nine of Wands in reverse. So fire energy again, right? Your energy. So I feel like with the Nine of Wands being in reverse, you're having to, I feel like you have to let your guard down a little bit. You have to be willing to open up even to your own soul, first of all, and see the situation for what it truly is, how you truly feel about it, the fact that you are still hurting in some way, you're still wounded, you're still affected by whatever took place in the past. Once you come to that place of acceptance, then you can start working on how to release these 6 swords, right? And get into a much lighter place and a much lighter state of being, so that you can be, you know, operating from a place of clarity and calm, rather than feeling like everything's so turbulent around you and it's difficult to see straight anymore, right? So when it comes to your feelings at this time, the Star card here, you have the 5 of Pentacles again. So this card has been coming up so strongly in your reading. Even when I was shuffling, it was showing. So it shows, you know, this feeling like you feel like the thing that you wanted is gone. Either it walked out of your life or you walked away from it, right? So this could very well be a connection here, but this could also be a dream that you felt slept through, the dream that slept. Nice one. Okay, what I actually mean is a dream that may have felt like it slipped through your fingers, right? Like you were so close to making it, you know, and then someone just kind of pulled the rug from underneath your feet. So you may have felt like, you know, you were so close to really just hitting the jackpot when it comes to your career, right? Maybe you had a golden opportunity or whatever, and then it was taken away from you at the last moment, or it fell through in some way for whatever reason, and you've just been grappling with that, you know, trying to feel like it's not worth giving up on the dream, right? Just because this was a big setback that took you back a little bit doesn't mean that it's not still worth investing in or moving towards, right? Okay. Now, with regards to what's crowning you, the 7 of Cups, you have the 7 of Pentacles. So we've got 7-7 here. We have 5-5 as well. So, and we have, 9-9 too. So this is a very significant part of your journey, I feel like, Aries. Especially because we have 2 divine counterparts here, and we also have a lot of fire energy. So yeah, I just feel like, you know, fire court cards, so it's intense, you know, and I feel like it is difficult, it is trying for you. But the idea is to help you see that there is always a way, there's always possibilities, right? Especially with that 7 of Cups there, it's like, it's easy to get kind of bogged down and confused when you feel like there isn't a narrow path in front of you and there's a specific point that you're trying to reach. When the world opens up to you, that becomes very overwhelming, because you're like, well, where do I even begin, right? How do I even move forward from this point? But it's telling you that, you know, while there may be some confusion now, it's important to take that time to take a step back, recuperate, reflect, and really tap into the energy of what you truly want and what that feels like. And then consider the possibilities, and do those possibilities match in frequency to the feeling of what it is you truly want. That's a good way to test that, okay? Whether or not something is aligned for you at this time. But I feel like with the 7 of Pentacles as well, right? You're having to do a bit of, like I say, introspective work, but also reflecting on what it is that you brought to the table, right? What is it that you put into a situation? Was it enough? Was it of the right energy, right? Was that the type of thing that would manifest the kind of results that you were looking for, right? So there's a lot of introspection at this time. Excuse me, I'm just going to get some water. Oh gosh, okay. So clarifying the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, you have, and this is in the position of your recent past, of course. You have the King of Wands. So this is you, Aries, okay? And I feel like, you know, I mean, just because it's the King of Wands doesn't mean that you're a male, of course. This is just the masculine aspect of that energy, right? So this is fire energy, of course, goes along with Sagittarius and Leo. But I feel like in this position, Aries, it's a case of, yeah, you are very, very much in your element in terms of yourself. You knew what you wanted, you knew what you were passionate about, what you're driving towards. You know, you were dedicated to the vision, right? Dedicated to the vision, the dream, your passions in general, creativity, ways of expressing oneself. You were feeling really like you were like stepping into that zone again, right? But it's also coming like this realization of, you know, I can't lost something that was never mine. I can't have lost something that was never mine. That's part of you getting back into your power. This is you kind of getting back into the zone again. When you do that, you start to realize these things like, oh, it was never mine to begin with. It wasn't meant for me. It didn't come together. It wasn't even a thing, right? So that's what I'm getting from this. Like, the more you step back into your power and operate from your natural space of being, that's when you'll start to have more of these realizations. And I feel like you had a major one recently where you saw that what you perceived as a loss and something being taken away from you, or feeling left behind in some way, it wasn't the case, right? And then clarifying the Nine of Swords in your near future, you have the Nine of Cups, right? So as I was saying, the two nines, water energy. You have an option here. You can either get really caught up in your head and worry about how difficult it is, and you know how your shadow aspect is basically feeding your mental state to the point where you're just so caught up in the fear that you're just assuming the worst of everything right now. Like, oh, this isn't going to work out. I'm so lost. I'm behind. No one cares. Blah, blah, blah. Like that kind of thing, right? You can choose to come out of that and focus on what would actually make you happy. So this is like focusing on the solution rather than the problem. That's the choice you have to make. It's like, you know, do you want to just keep, you know, going round and round in your head and beating yourself up because things didn't come together the way you hoped? Or are you going to take action and focus on what actually can bring you a lot of happiness and stability, emotional stability in your life, right? You always have that choice because you know what it is what you want and that would make you feel good. So why not focus more on that rather than the negatives, right? Because you're only going to attract more negativity into your life if you do that. Okay. So now clarifying the Emperor, you have in the position of your advice, you have the Queen of Wands. So you have the Queen and the King here, both in the upright. So I feel like whoever you was connected to previously is also doing that work and getting back into their power again. They could be a fellow they could be a fellow fire sign, so they could have Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius strongly in their chart as well, right? But regardless, I feel like this person that, you know, you still have a connection with, you know, they don't see you being so open at this time. They don't see you as, you know, being willing to hear them out, consider what it is they're feeling or have to say. They see you as being very, you know, guarded and just unavailable and just uncaring in the situation and just being very stubborn. They feel like you wouldn't open up to them, right? For them to be even able to open up to you about what it is they want. And I feel like that's very important to this Queen of Wands. And I just say Queen of Wands because that's what she is. But this can pertain to the masculine and feminine aspects in anybody because everyone has them, right? But I feel like this is in relation to the feminine aspect of whoever is from your past, right? So that's what I'm getting from this. They don't know how to reach you to have this conversation that needs to take place, to find out if you're on the same page and how you can proceed forward, right? For others of you, I feel like it's a case of you needing to give yourself a bit of tough love and direction and guidance, right? Because, because the divine masculine aspect of yourself is a bit out of whack, right? because of all of this energy that's coming up, being shifted, and that needs to be processed, that perhaps you've been turning a blind eye to. So that's why she's coming up in this energy, that she needs to be strong for you and show you the way so that you can do the work, essentially. And when I say she, I'm talking about the divine aspect, divine feminine aspect of yourself, okay? So she's like showing you and telling you and pointing the way as to what you need to do and what inner work you need to do, right? So pay attention to the signs and listen to your intuition. Now, in regards to your external influences, the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Three of Swords. So yeah, there is a lot of pain here still. There's a lot of longing, and there's a lot of just feeling like you can't move forward because your heart space is still attached to someone else, or you know, this other person put you through a lot and you feel like, how can I recover from this? Like, how can I actually move on? Because every time I try, I just end up back to square one. It doesn't work, right? So I feel like there is some energetic healing that needs to take place between the two of you. For those of you where it's not about another person, I feel like you need to give back to yourself, right? Because you have experienced a lot of pain and you didn't feel like you got what you needed. You didn't get the support, the time, the understanding. You didn't have the home base at the time possibly to ground yourself in. It wasn't the right environment, but that's now changing and you're being asked to look at those things and provide that for yourself, okay? Now, when it comes to your fears, the Fool, you have the Seven of Cups. So water energy again. And you have the Seven of Cups again. So we have 3 sevens here. 7 is a very prominent number. So I would say check that out in regards to numerology and see what message may be relevant to you. But yeah, I feel like it's a case of you need to really look at what it is that you want and you're moving towards before you move, because I feel like you do have a lot of fear around the idea of having to start all over again. But sometimes starting all over again isn't a bad thing. Sometimes it's actually exactly what we need. No matter how tired we are, no matter how difficult it is, sometimes you need that reset, okay? Because you are going through a lot of changes. So I feel like it's not that you're fighting against the changes you're experiencing, it's more about fighting against the idea of having to start your life over from scratch. Which I kind of get it, you know, but I don't feel like that's what needs to happen. You may change location, you may change jobs, you know, you may change some aspect of your environment, but that doesn't mean you have to start all over again, right? And then clarifying the Two of Pentacles, you have the Emperor in the upright this time. So that's interesting how you've got it in your advice in reverse, but then you have the Emperor and your hopes in the upright. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, I feel like it's it's harping back to this message here that, you know, you're kind of going between energies. You're just trying to balance things out and bring yourself back to a space of equilibrium. So I feel like that's really illustrated clearly here, right? You're going between two extremes, the two different types of Emperor, the shadow aspect of the Emperor, and then the ascendant energy of the Emperor. And I feel like you go between the two extremes because of this pain you're experiencing and this history and the difficulty surrounding, you know, just releasing the connection or just, you know, finding some kind of resolution. I feel like you do want that. You do want to feel like you have your world, your little bubble under control. So I feel like that's what you're looking for also. Okay. And then finally, as a potential outcome, clarifying the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, you have the Six of Swords, okay? So air energy again. So you have the Six of Swords twice as well. So you have 2 6s, 3 7s, and 2 9s, right? I think we had like 3 5s come up at one point as well. So this is it, taking significant steps towards your goal, towards your happiness, towards where you want to be in yourself in life, right? But I feel like this is showing you're having to, you're having to move away from something detrimental from your happiness. There's still baggage that you're taking with you, but that's okay as long as you start healing and reducing that baggage over time so it doesn't overburden you and become too heavy. So it's a work in progress. There is a lot of work to be done, but you will get there. That's what that tells me, is that you will get there. It's just a process and a matter of time, and knowing to reassert your position, where you stand, what it is you want, what you don't want, and just being very honest, especially if you end up having a communication with a new person about what you feel is taking place. Just be honest. I mean, yeah, you want to be gentle with how you broach the subject, but still it's important to be honest about it. And that includes when you speak to the old person as well, because perhaps they feel a similar way to you. Who knows? So yeah, Aries, I hope that helped. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and hit the notification bell. And yeah, we'll take a closer look at, this King of Wands and Queen of Wands energy, and the the Emperor and Empress, right? Because that is a significant soul level connection. The fact that you've got the King and Queen of Wands and the Emperor and the Empress, that tells me that this is a soul level connection and that it's not probably done, whatever this is, right? So we'll take a look at exactly what that could be, what kind of situations are playing out for you in the near future, and what the potential outcome could be, and any advice surrounding that. Okay, so thanks again for checking this out, and thank you so much if you do go over to the extended and take a look. If this is where we part ways instead, then I hope these messages bring you some clarity. All right, but I wish you a very good September. I hope that regardless of what's taking place, especially with these kinds of energies, that you're able to maintain your level of self-worth and grounding, because you deserve it. Okay, so all the best, and I'll speak to you soon, Aries. Bye.